Now, into palm muting. If you've never done any palm muting before, then let me show you where you need to put your palm. So this fleshy horseshoe part of your hand needs to rest, let me see if I can show you this as best I can, at the back of the strings. Now, when people do palm muting wrong, they bring their hand too far close to the sound hole. You must bring your hand back so that you can you've got these just about touching the back of your wrist, and that will depend on your hand shape. But basically, the number one reason people get palm muting wrong is they bring their hand too far forward and they get this sound. So just bring this top part of your hand just here so it's sitting on top of the top 3 to 4 strings. I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't have your 4th string muted. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take an E chord. Let me show it to you in this angle. And I want you to strum the top 3 strings. So you should get this sound. If you're getting this sound, and there's no tone, no music, it's just a dry mute, then your hand is either pressing down too hard, which you don't even press down, you just use the weight of your hand, or you're too far forward into the sound hole of the guitar. So bring it back, keep bringing it back. You see, I'm really far back there with my wrist. So you're getting some tone coming from the strings. So that's palm muting. Okay, so what we're going to be exploring with these exercises is mixing strumming with palm muting. Palm muting on tab is written as P.M, palm mute, and then a dashed line telling you how many you're actually palm muting for. On top of that, all of these exercises are going to be based around E. So when you're doing palm muting, you're only strumming the top 4 strings of E. Okay? If you can't quite make it down to the G string, it's not the end of the world, but just make sure that you're not strumming all 6 strings with your mute, because that's a lot harder to do, and we're not going to be doing that today. So let's have a look at pattern 1, 2, 3, 4. Release, palm mute, palm mute, palm mute, release. So every first beat of the metronome is a proper full-on strum. And just get used to doing that. Okay, right, let's move on. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it. I'll play through that a few times, making sure you can hear the difference between an open strum and a palm muted strum where we're closing the strings down with the right hand. Let's have a look at pattern 2 now. 3 and 4 and... Okay, good. We'll now move on to pattern 3, 2, 3 and 4. At this time, it's probably about a good time to tell you about doing down or down ups when you're doing 8th beat. With palm muting, it's a lot more comfortable most of the time to do downs as your palm muting. Doing this, I mean, you can do it, but it's a little more difficult to achieve. So when you see 8th beats, even 16s, just down strums is the best way to go. Okay, let's move on to pattern 4 now. So we're going to go. Hopefully you've got that. I do like that one. That's one of my favourites. I like doing that fast. Obviously it's not in time with the metronome, but it does sound good faster. It reminds me of sort of old school metal almost. Okay, pattern 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 2. Okay, good. So that one is a little more syncopated. So that means that when you're doing the open strings, they're on what's the upbeats, the ands. Okay, so the 4 and of the first bar, and the 2 and the 4 and of the second bar. So just concentrate on that. as you play along. And finally, pattern 6. So 2-bar rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and